Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And we have some congestion developing on Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59. It's a 14-minute drive. West on the Bayway from the Eastern Shore to the tunnel in Mobile. It's a 12-minute drive. Crews are also on the scene of an accident with road blockage at Eglin Air Force Base, North Poquito Road at Lewis Turner Boulevard. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Need better sleep? Score huge deals on your perfect bed at Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Stop in today and let the sleep experts find the right upgrade for your unique needs. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Hey, Uncle Henry, guess what? Your fly is open.
Just for the record, my fly is not open. My fly is closed. Please do not discuss my fly unless it is privately to me in the instance that it is really open. Other than that, no other reason to ever even, that should never come up even in your mind. The Uncle Henry Show underway here on News Radio 710 WNTM. And I appreciate very, very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. I do. I appreciate this job and all that it entails, which involves a paycheck. Here we are together again, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? Today's one of those days where you have to stop. Well, I don't know about you. You're a lot brighter than me, probably. You've already got these things figured out. But I have to stop and try and figure these things out. Like all these election results yesterday. I know you've probably heard a lot of speculation. People using speculative knowledge, talking about the election results from yesterday. All these big Democrat victories in all these places, including New York City. Now, the one thing that I'm trying to figure out what is going on is with this attorney general. I know you've heard it talked about endlessly, and so I won't go on about it myself. But these voters elected a guy to be their attorney general in Virginia that was texting about wanting somebody he disagreed with to be killed, and the children of that guy to die in their mother's arms and all this kind of stuff. And this guy somehow in modern America, that is not disqualifying. That is no, so I'm trying to figure out what is disqualifying now in the United States of America for holding public office. What kind of spoken word or opinions will get you passed over by voters? Because clearly it's okay, at least in some instances, I guess. Well, I'm still figuring it out. Who can you fantasize about violence toward and then get elected? By the way, last night, I hate to complain, and caller, I'm getting right to you here in just a second. I hate to complain. I want to be positive as much as I can. But I watched a lot of election coverage last night on national channels. I don't know that I liked any of it. I didn't like any of it that I saw, any of the actual coverage with people either happy or clutching their pearls. And Let's bring on Kellyanne Conway, who may have some insight. What was that? Didn't enjoy any of that election coverage. But I do have good news. I've got a caller. I'm going right to the caller, but here's something positive. I want to have something positive in this segment of the show for you. The original owner of Hooters, the restaurant, you remember them? The original owner of Hooters, who created Hooters more than 40 years ago, has taken back full control of the company and claims he's gonna put the women in more modest attire. Yeah, they're going to cover some people up at Hooters. All right, well, look, there's a positive. Yeah, they elected a communist in New York, but Hooters wants to put more clothes on the ladies. So there's a, positive and negative here. All right, let me go to the phones. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hi, I want to testify.
All right, go ahead and testify.
I want to let the people know I'm watching you on YouTube and your fly is closed.
Thank you. Well, all right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. I've got confirmation. I think the listener would have trusted me on this. But thank you for testifying. In the future, please, I guess I'm going to adjust the camera so that I'm only seen from the head up or something. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry.
Cliff, you are live on the radio.
I'm looking at these statistics and stuff when it comes to voting. I got to believe that that's a lot of money, a whole lot of money involved. But in the case of New York, they're saying 70% of black people voted. How many people that, now you could trust a white politician, or you can trust Obama-colored politician. But how many people are going to trust a man that to get in that Ivy League college said he was black and Indian? And on that, his religion says that it's okay to lie to the infidel. This man had told y'all he finna bring his people that been hiding in the dark in New York, he finna bring them out front. So it's going to be another death to New York, but the Muslims are going to take over. And it took a lot of money to do that. And what's that chick that's got an IQ of 10, AOC?
Yes.
She come out and when he won and said, now we have just won a victory over the old oligarch Democrat Party, and now we finna take over and run it to, in other words, to get rid of Schumer and all these people,
right?
Pelosi and all these. It's a new guard coming on, and we're gonna do it the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
The average person that George Soros called the ignorant masses, they just participated in something else that's going to hurt them. The people you seen clapping behind Mondana and AOC and all these people are paid to get around, the people are paid to protest, but the George Soros playbook says one thing: get the people interested and make them think it's fun. So it's fun for them to do that, and you're going to be around your friends, and it's going to be fun for you to, to do what we need you to do, and that's what's happening. You got black people standing out there, and they don't even know what this man is telling you, that I love my Muslim religion, which means death to America come first. You have a blessed day, again.
Cliff, thank you for your phone call. I have a few thoughts on that myself, but I'm heading into the break for traffic, weather, and words from our sponsors. Back with more Uncle Henry Show after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Look out for a crash with injury and road blockage, Quarter Deck Street at Millview Road in Pensacola. Also a crash with injury and road blockage in Fort Walton Beach on Woodham Avenue at 2nd Avenue. And we still have a crash with road blockage at Eglin Air Force Base, North Poquito Road at Lewis Turner Boulevard. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
All right, very nice, precise pronunciations from Lisa Baque. She pronounces words almost gingerly. Hello to 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, Richard Harvey, the mature, common sense-filled Chuck, Pat Nelly, Bama Big Man, and anyone else that might be. We have a small number today watching on YouTube. Larry Morting, Timmy Watkins, now let's see, today, what can I tell you while I'm waiting to go back on the radio? Back on the radio here in about 3 minutes. I was out and about today and went out and interviewed a Mobile businessman for the Ask the Expert show. And he, after the interview was over, he wanted to show me his pictures that he took at the Tennessee game. And somehow this guy ended up with Ryan Williams and other players on the field on the 50-yard line smoking cigars. So he's done well in life. I'm going to guess, done well. Got me fired up to want to watch that game. Yeah, I might watch that game again. It was better than the election coverage I saw on every channel. All right, what can I tell you? Let me find some stupid news for you. And there's plenty of it today, I believe. There were some college students caught cheating with artificial intelligence by the professors. This was University of Illinois. The professors called them out on it. And so these students that were accused of cheating with AI apologized. But it turns out that all of the letters of apology had been written by AI. Now, I'm starting to feel like artificial intelligence is being overhyped. Because we have, I've got access to it like you do, and it hasn't helped me a bit. Do a dadgum thing. On a related note, though, I saw that there are engineers in South Korea. They're working on artificial muscles. And they claim that they will be able to outfit robots, humanoid robots, with these artificial muscles that are that are flexible and yet won't break, won't tear, whatever it is. They claim that these humanoid robots with the artificial muscles will be approximately as strong as 20 men. I don't know how you quantify that. But they're making super strong fake muscles for humanoid robots. Maybe, will that be the future of mixed martial arts? Is just sending humanoid robots out there to fight each other? I think they've made movies about that, haven't they? All I'm waiting for is a robot that can effectively clean the house.
It means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM. It is 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Got telephone lines for you if you want to call in with something. 251-479-2723. 251-479-2723. Or 251-479-2723. Email address, UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. That's UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. Now, Cliff, in his last phone call, was talking about the election results up in New York City. And he was talking about certain folks voting against their own interests, perhaps because they don't realize what they're doing in their vote. Cliff, I wanted to look, because there was so much discussion of the New York race and who should people support against Mom Donnie and all this kind of mess. I looked on the internet, which is the source of all information and misinformation, and I wanted to look at the demographics of New York City. And Cliff, according to Google, which we can believe or not, New York City itself, according to Google, 36% of the people living there, 36% are foreign born. Were not born here. Now, they may have become legalized as legal immigrants, I don't know. But 36% not born here. And another stat about New York City, according to the right or wrong Google, 48% of the people living in New York City, 48% speak a different language other than English when they go home. Almost half. I think that's the way the math works. Almost half? Really? Almost half of the people living there, when they go home, they drop the English and they speak a different language. So when they are looking at candidates to vote for, first guy they look at, Curtis Sliwa, they don't even want to hear his bio. They just look at it. They look at his hat. They say, all right, the hat, no, sorry. Pillsbury Doughboy is wearing a hat. We're not going to vote for that guy. So then they look at the other two candidates. One of them has something in common with them. One of them is not a corrupt guy from a corrupt family. Well, I don't know. Maybe everybody was corrupt up there. But they're not going to pick Cuomo. Who are they going to pick? If you go home, if you're either from a foreign country or you're trying to make it in New York City, you're not from around here, you speak a different language when you go home, who are you going to relate to? Who are you going to identify with? So demographically, I don't know how they could have. I don't know how anybody else could have won that when you had him on the ballot, Mom Donnie. So, and plus, there are a lot of Republicans that wanted that guy to win so that they can run against him all over the country. Just like Democrats run against Donald Trump, even if they're out in California or Arizona, they're constantly mentioning Trump when they run for office. Even if they're running for school board or something, they're still talking about Trump. Mom Donnie will be talked about all over the country by Republicans running for office next year. So some Republicans wanted that to happen. But again, how could anyone else have won if 36% of the population of the town is not born here and 48% speak a different language when they go home? That's the guy that reminds them of themselves. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir.
I got a quick question on this nuclear option deal going on. I'm just kind of wondering if we go ahead and choose the nuclear option, does that permanently change the amount of senators after that point that they would need to be able to pass anything? That becomes permanent after that point? Is that what the problem is?
Well, once you use it, you're going to think the other side is going to use it too.
I don't know. It sounded to me like that once you use it, that requirement where, let's say, like it's 60 right now, that it'll change it from 60 down to 55, and that from now on it'll lower that requirement, because Trump was saying today that the Democrats already tried to do it, but they was short 2 people to be able to get it passed. So it makes me think of, it was tried, but the Democrats failed on it too. But once that happens...
Well, no, it was used back in 2013. And it was done, it's been done before by the Democrats and the Republicans to get nominations through, because parties will block each other's nominations to judgeships and things like that. So it's been used before.
Oh, so it doesn't permanently change that threshold, and it goes back to what's required to begin with, I guess?
Look, I am not an expert on it. I just know that this is something that a lot of the senators don't want to use it because they're worried it'll get used again on them. But this is something that I think this is where we are, that the Republicans decide not to use it. It will be used on the Republicans. I mean, you've noticed politics has gotten quite extreme in the last few years.
I don't see any other option at this point. I mean, I don't really think they're going to budge. I think we're kind of pushed into a corner. But it almost, because the way Trump was talking, well, if we do this, it's going to change that requirement now. And then now, once you change that threshold, we have enough senators in there that we could just pass whatever we want for the 3 years left in there, and then he could get everything that he wants to get done. But the problem is that once the Democrats get in office, then they won't have to have as many senators either, and then they could pass whatever they want. But it almost made it sound like it's a permanent change that once they do it.
Well, again, at this point, somebody's going to go ahead and do it. They've used it for nominations. I don't know that they've used it for legislation. I'm not a student of this, but it will be done. You can see that both sides politically in this country have voted for their own types of revolutions. Donald Trump was a form of a revolution against the status quo. Mamdani and others like him are very similar in going up against the status quo. This is going to happen. Somebody's going to do it.
Don't you think we should do it, and then just everything that we want to do, we just go ahead and do it now? I mean, we just throw all that stuff out there we really want to get done instead of not getting anything done now?
Well, I would if I trusted the Republicans in the Senate. The short answer to your question is yes. I think the Republicans should do it, but they should have a really good plan behind it to get just the right stuff passed. And I don't have a lot of trust in the people up there to have everything lined up properly, to use it properly.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
You're traveling in Pensacola. We've got a crash with road blockage, Rawson Lane at Airport Boulevard. Also, watch for a crash with road blockage on West Lakeview Avenue at North L Street. Also, a crash at Eglin Air Force Base, north on Lewis Turner Boulevard at Puquito Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. New at Lowe's, ProBlock Quick Dry Primer. Expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast, block stains, and go on smooth for virtually flawless results. Available now in oil and water-based. Grab yours today at Lowe's.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. A judge denied bail to a Sims woman facing manslaughter charges in the death of her child during a crash. During a bond hearing, Delisha Millette indicated she was not aware her 7-year-old was dead. The Mobile County DA says her other son, an 11-year-old boy, is in critical condition. The DA says both children were not restrained in the SUV when it collided with a light pole near Schillinger and House Ferry in Mobile. Police say Millette continued driving at more than 80 miles per hour on Schillinger, even after police broke off their pursuit. In Daphne, police made an arrest in connection to a stabbing. 26-year-old Taylor Duplessis is charged with aggravated assault. Police telling Fox 10 News someone saw her sleeping in a car in the Daphne area Tuesday night and called them. Investigators say the stabbing happened on Pollard Road on the night of October 22nd. Deputies say they found the victim bleeding and in need of immediate medical care. Investigators say the two women knew each other. Well, it was a big day for the city of Mobile. The city is celebrating the first homes built through the city's housing improvement program. It was constructed by Heritage Homes and purchased by a member of Mobile Police. Now the goal is to build 30 homes across 30 blocks in the neighborhood, all while reducing blight. And we have more details about this on our website, fox10tv.com. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeartRadio station.
The government shutdown is now officially the longest in U.S. history. Governor Kay Ivey is releasing $2 million in emergency funds to go towards 8 food banks. The governor calls it absolutely ridiculous that families are suffering. She's calling on Senate Democrats to reopen the government now. Turning Point USA's college campus tour arrives in Auburn today. Senator Tommy Tuberville, along with Eric Trump and his wife Lara, will attend the event at Neville Arena. Organizers say it's a chance to celebrate and honor the legacy of the organization's founder, the late Charlie Kirk. And new information about the incident that led to the suspension of Alabama football standout Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. Police say they arrested him after he refused to obey officers' commands to stop his car. He was speeding on and near the Strip. I'm Leah Brandon.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. We're into the second month of this government shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy now says air travelers will continue to feel a strain on federal resources.
There is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations.
Secretary Duffy says the reduction comes to maintain safety in the nation's airspace. At least 11 people are dead. Officials looking for more victims after yesterday's crash of a UPS cargo plane at the company's global aviation hub in Kentucky. Ton Inman with the NTSB talking about the explosive collision that happened shortly after takeoff.
We have viewed airport CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll.
3 people are said to have been aboard the plane at the time of the crash. Officials say the plane hit a petroleum recycling facility, causing additional explosions. America is listening to Fox News.
I love fall weather, and so does Greer's. Uncle.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking at the Uncle Henry Show here on YouTube. We're going to be back on the radio here in just less than 2 minutes. Hope all is well in YouTube land. Let's see, what can I tell you while waiting to go back on the radio? In London, England, there is a growing movement to ban making out on the subway before 10 a.m. in the morning. Apparently, there is so much of people making out that it's turning into a movement where they're trying to make it a rule where you can't do it on the subway. I don't know what that is about British culture that would cause people to want to do that in the early morning hours on the subway. They say this is when people are on their way to work, commuting to work. I am kind of encouraged, though, that at least people are still It sounds like, even though it's inappropriate, at least it's what I expect people would want to do, if that makes sense. It sounds, unfortunately, it's one of the least weird stories I've seen today. The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also hear me on FM radio. I'm on 95 KSJ Monday through Friday between 10 and 2, playing today's hottest country. Want to invite you to join me and Shelby Mitchell next Tuesday evening. That's the night of Veterans Day. We're going to be out at Doherty's on Dolphin Island. Got a concert with country music artist Dylan Carmichael. We're raising money for Vets Recover. Vets Recover, a veterans group founded here in Mobile, and they help veterans every year, lots of them, that are going through really tough issues, PTSD, going through recovery, trying to get the mental health help they need. They do outpatient and inpatient work in Mobile with veterans, and a lot of the people that work there are veterans helping veterans through Vets Recover. They helped 800 veterans last year. We're raising money for that charity with this concert. If you'd like to pick up tickets, advance tickets are only $11, and you can get them at 95ksj.com. That is next Tuesday night. The music starts around 5. The headliner takes the stage at 7, all for a very good cause. Again, details at 95ksj.com. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hey.
This Strawberry.
Strawberry.
My bullet hole.
This is, you got a bullet hole to show me?
This Strawberry, I want to see my bullet hole.
I don't want to see your bullet hole again.
Tommy Tuberville for president. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. That was Strawberry wanting to show us his bullet hole. There was a guy that worked at WABB for years named Strawberry. He used to want to show people his bullet hole. That was kind of an icebreaker. Once you met him for a few minutes, then he would pull his shirt up and show you where he had been shot. He was not an on-air personality. In fact, now that I think back on what he did, I'm not sure I know what he did, but he didn't work on the air. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here. Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm Michelle, and I've been listening to your show today, totally enjoying it. Don't know anything about Strawberry. Anyway, that's a whole nother too much info.
Yes, indeed. Yes, no, we don't need to see where you've been shot. Yes.
But, some of the things that I've been thinking about, number one, as far as the filibuster, Trump that was the case that he was making today, is that, yes, they're going to use it. And if we use it now, we have an opportunity to turn this country around and make it so good that if they try to use it, there'd be, there'd be such an uproar. But also, too, as far as the gentleman that was wanting to kill, the politicians' kids, to me, there again, that's the media covering for them, because they were saying that a percentage of the people, I think they said it was like 46% or something of the people that voted for him didn't even know that he even said that. And I'm thinking, how could people in Virginia not know that when we know it? I mean, to me, that's a lack of coverage.
Well, and I'm let me interrupt you just to say I was thinking the same thing, in that when I saw these results, I thought those voters, they're seeing completely different information than I'm seeing. Obviously, they've got to be seeing completely different stuff than from what I see. We're all sitting and watching a movie screen, but you and I, we're seeing one movie and they're seeing another.
Well, the interesting point that they did make is that the majority of those people were younger voters. So I guess it wasn't like on the internet or, you know, it's not even Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that enough. But I just thought, oh, that's scary that many people had no clue whatsoever. But the last thing I wanted to point out as far as the results, especially in New York in particular, the thing that was interesting to me is they make it sound like it was this huge victory, and it was 51%. But we're talking that 49% of them did not vote Democrat in the city of New York. And I know a lot of the outlining areas of the state of New York are Republican. It's interesting to me why someone hasn't thought about the fact 49% did not vote Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And if you added that 49% to the outliers, man, they may actually flip New York. And I don't know that anybody thought, because it really wasn't, you know, and how many illegal aliens were allowed to vote? Because they said they were going to allow them to vote. Now, whether it became legal, I don't know that, you know, internal things in New York, but I know that they were trying to pass it, that they could. So how many of them did? But, you know, outside of that, 49% did not vote Democrat. And you added to all the other Republicans in the state, I think you could turn it because it really wasn't that much of a difference.
Well, I like that you're looking for that silver lining, which is a good trait for all of us to have. You mentioned the filibuster. If you were to bust a filibuster and pass election integrity laws where it would be impossible to vote in this country if you weren't a citizen, that might solve a lot of these problems.
That's right, and that's one of the things he talked about today. That's exactly right. I mean, I hate the thought of using the filibuster rule. I hate it. I really do. But I think we're to the point, if they're going to throw this much fuss over a clean CR bill, what makes you think they're not going to step further? They are.
They are.
Showing their color. And we have a window of opportunity to do those integrity, like you said, voter integrity laws. We have a window of opportunity. We need to do it. There is no reason everybody does not need to show some kind of identification, driver's license, non-driver's license ID. You have to show it for everything else. There's no that is not shown on the voter ID, none whatsoever.
All right. Well, I'm with you there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you for calling. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. The lady that just called was talking about people in Virginia not being aware that the attorney general candidate they voted for had openly fantasized about killing a Republican and fantasized about the Republicans' children dying in their mother's arms and all that kind of stuff. I noticed that in the coverage, I flipped around to different disgusting news networks last night, and I kept hearing anchor people saying, well, you know, he did apologize. Yeah, but he did apologize. Maybe they just believed his apology. No, we are living in bubbles. You've heard it talked about almost infinitely now. And those bubbles are getting bigger and stronger, apparently, if you can keep that kind of stuff under wraps. All right, going to take a quick time out and then back with more Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. A reminder that you can listen to previous shows as a podcast. Uncle Henry Show available on the iHeartRadio app. Look for Uncle Henry Show on the iHeartRadio app. You can look for it at our website, newsradio710.com. You can also find it on iTunes and other inferior platforms.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
And we've got an accident in the turn lane on North Blue Angel Parkway at Mobile Highway. Also, watch for a crash with road blockage, Rawson Lane at Airport Boulevard, and a crash with road blockage on West Hannah Street at Pensacola Boulevard. And we've got some slowing due to an accident south on Highway 31 at Highway 225 in Spanish Fort.
This report is...
YouTube viewers, got a small number of people looking in. Thank you, small number of people looking in on YouTube. Rick Henry. Now, you're talking about the LSU game Saturday night? 68-year-old Chris, yes, I will endeavor to stay awake. I will endeavor to stay awake for the game. Always really enjoyed the rivalry between Alabama and LSU during the Saban years. Really enjoyed it. Will always remember for the rest of my life, however long I have left, that it was Alabama and LSU that changed. The reason we have college football playoffs is because Alabama and LSU getting into that rematch in the national championship game. The rest of the country was fed up with the SEC. They couldn't stand the SEC because of Alabama and LSU being so good and all that stuff. Now, what can I tell you about YouTube? Oh, programming note for 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley. 68-year-old Chris, there will not be an Uncle Henry show Friday. I am taking a vacation day. A vacation day for Friday. So I will not be here Friday. From what I understand, it'll be one of our last warm days before we have a cold plunge that begins, Tuesday of next week? Now, what can I tell you in the weird news? The stupid criminal file. A bank robber in Ohio was arrested Friday morning. He stole about $400, all in $1 bills. He went in, claimed he had a weapon, demanded cash, ran away on foot with 400 $1 bills. He was caught a short time later by police. When he was arrested, he asked the police officers if they could put his 400 $1 bills into his jail commissary account. Also, in other stupid crook news, a man in Florida, Port St. Lucie, got pulled over after leaving a Halloween party. The police claim that he was driving drunk. And when they asked him to get out of the car for his field sobriety test on Halloween night, turns out the man was dressed in a costume for Halloween. He was dressed as an inmate with black and white stripes. So it gave the arresting officers a good laugh. They all enjoyed it. Pulled over somebody driving drunk and they're already dressed for jail.
American stories.
This is a test of the emergency alert system.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, it's 5:50. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I remember an odd-year election many years ago in which Kurt Fordyce was elected governor of Mississippi.
Okay.
And the national news anchor said, well, the Republicans didn't really win that race because Kurt Fordyce, well, he's a racist bigot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And similarly, Uncle Henry, it's hard for me to see the election of Mamdani as a victory for the Democrats in New York City when he sets up an Islamic caliphate and offers sanctuary to Al-Qaeda and God knows what other terrorist group, and tells ICE and FBI and everybody else, y'all can't go after my terrorist buddies. I can't see that as a win nationwide for the Democrats. And by the way, the Democrats in Virginia who refused to support Winsome Earl Sears for governor, I don't ever want to hear any of these people ever again call conservatives racist. When they could not, we were told, if no matter how you feel about his policies, if you vote against Obama, if you vote against Kamala, you're racist. All right, well, however they felt about her policies, if the Democrats in Virginia could not support Winsome Earl Sears to be the first black woman governor of Virginia, they're racist. What works for their side works for our side too, Uncle Henry.
That's the way it seems, doesn't it, Bert?
It really does.
Hey, Bert, by the way, I've got you on the phone here. Bert, I want to thank Bert. Bert called my voicemail this morning to tell me about a technical problem on the radio station. Bert, thank you for that because I heard the same thing too and tried to get it fixed. So thank you for calling in and telling me about the technical difficulty you heard on 710 this morning. I appreciate that.
Y'all did shortly get that fixed, and I appreciate y'all getting that fixed, Uncle Henry.
Me too.
One more thing.
Yes.
One more thing. This coming Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, Blues Tavern. Just me and a drummer. First time I've tried to do anything like that, being the whole show, in at least 15 years.
Wow. Okay. So Bert and a drummer. This is going to be. This is starting Friday afternoon at 4.
At the Blues Tavern. Yes, sir.
Very good. Hey, Bert, thank you for reminding me of that, and thank you for telling the listeners about that. I hope a bunch of people show up to see you.
Well, thank you for taking my call, Uncle Henry.
Thank you, Bert. All right, there he goes. Hello, caller.
Afternoon, Henry. How are you today?
I'm good. You are live on the radio.
Good. This is in reference to the lady that was called right before Bert, I believe, on your break. She made a lot of good, valid points, and it was a travesty today or yesterday in Virginia after I think it was the Attorney General made the text and the comments he did about wishing death to his opponent's children. And I guess we've just slumped to that level that we could, or they could put that person in office and apology or not. I mean, he showed his true colors, and I've always been told that when a person really shows you who they are, you better believe them. And I believe Cliff has said that a few times on your show, and that was quite obvious in that situation there. And the other point she made too made me thinking too that, and I think, and you kind of alluded to it as well. We as a voting public are pretty ignorant about our politics and our civics and social studies. I don't know that they even teach civics anymore in schools. And it's quite a shame that they don't, because we have become a nation of the uneducated all the way around, but particularly in our political games and what these things stand for. And it'd be nice if some civics and some things were put back into the school system again.
Well, and I don't know how much is or isn't in there, but based on the behavior of people, as you said, people are behaving as they don't know how the government works.
Oh, exactly. You have a good evening, sir.
Well, you too. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for calling. You know, one example of that, I remember growing up, there were always campaigns going on trying to actually change our Constitution, which I don't know that a lot of people understand that there are mechanisms to amend the U.S. Constitution. You can add things to it if you really want to. But what was the last thing they tried to do? Equal Rights Amendment? Was that it? Equal Rights Amendment? And that failed? And I don't know that anybody has tried to do any kind of amendment to the Constitution since then. But people were a little more civically engaged and would actually try to amend our Constitution to put it in there, put in whatever they wanted in there. Now, it seems to be people just want to use as much force as possible to get what they want. There is more Uncle Henry Show coming up after the news break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Every time there's a government shutdown, I turn to an unconventional barometer to understand the depth of the impasse. I always observe the first few minutes of the Senate session, not to hear Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, but to listen to someone who has a direct line to someone who outranks everyone in the Senate. I listen to the Senate's opening prayer from Senate Chaplain Barry Black. Black is a parliamentary pastor offering ecumenical intercessions in search of a shutdown solution. Black unloaded on his Senate flock a few weeks ago. Quote, Lord, remind our lawmakers that no gold medals are given for breaking shutdown records, prayed Black. Black's sizzling sermons from the Senate pulpit are canon during times of crisis. He delivered similar prayers during the lengthy government shutdowns of 2013 and 2018-2019. Only the Almighty knows how the government shutdown will end. But until then, operations of the federal government are limping along on a wing and a prayer. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. I'm going to turn the camera off. There is more show coming up after the news here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow.
Uncle Henry here with John McNeil and Virginia O'Brien of Mobile Bay Financial Solutions.
The investment landscape is changing rapidly, and staying informed is crucial.
At Mobile Bay Financial Solutions, we keep you updated on the latest trends and investments.
From environmental, social, and governance factors to technology-driven investments in AI, blockchain, and fintech that are driving new opportunities. Understanding these trends can help you make informed decisions.
Stay